Yo, hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday night, man. Hopefully you guys' Thanksgiving was you know, hopefully you guys ate a lot of good food. Obviously there was a lot of amazing fights on Saturday. We had Lamont Roach destroying Hector Luis Garcia. Big mistake from Hector was being inactive after getting stopped by Tank Davis. So shout out to Lamont Roach for finally becoming a champion. I know he's been wanting to win a couple of fights when he was with Golden Boy. Just he just couldn't win them. Kind of like JoJo Diaz, right? To really be that face. Then there was Subriel Matias and Ergashev. Look, man, Ergashev, I don't know if he's an Olympian. I'm sure that he is. But they never taught that motherfucker how to block his face. The whole fight, he had a shoulder roll or a Philly shell style protecting his body, protecting his abdomen and his chest. Subriel Matias very rarely threw body shots to Ergashev. Like he threw them, but it was nothing of note where Ergashev has to protect his body. And the whole fucking fight, he was leaving his face unblocked, and Matias just kept hitting him with everything. The whole kitchen sink, jabs, little short left hooks, right hands. Ergashev is probably one of the stupidest undefeated fighters I had seen coming out of the Eastern European circuit. That dude's retarded. Subriel Matias makes easy work of him. Ergashev has power. You can see that he's dynamic. But from what I heard was whether he won or lost, I thought he was going to retire. Well, fighting like that, bro, like you should retire. You got to learn how to protect and block your face. I've never seen anything quite like that. The whole fight card was really good. I didn't see Viton Melnecki. I didn't really get to watch him fight, but I heard he knocked down that dude 3 times and then stopped him in the first round. So that's pretty cool. I know Vito, for his first couple of like 7 fights, he looked very mediocre. But I guess now he's coming into his own and he's winning impressively. On the co-main event, man, I was really surprised by Jose Benavidez. I feel Jose shouldn't have conceded. Look, man, Jamal Charlo didn't make weight by 7 fucking pounds. He didn't make weight by 7 fucking pounds. They were first scheduled to fight at 160, and the belt was supposed to be on the line. Then they rechanged the weight class to 163, right? So Jose concedes 3 more pounds. Jamal didn't even make that weight class. He made 166.5 or 0.7. And Jose still gave him the opportunity for that fight. I would have been, fuck you, Jamal. You didn't make weight. That fight's canceled, and PBC should have had somebody else in line for Jose. Jose made fucking weight. He was fucking fighting a damn near cruiserweight, a light heavyweight in Jamal Charlo. I was not impressed by Jamal. For a dude coming off, 3 years, sure, whatever's, man. You know what I mean? He looked okay. But at the same time, I'm like, you can't even make fucking weight. And you're fighting a blown up middleweight. Jose Benavidez should be a 154-pounder. You know what I'm saying? I can't help to wonder how good of a career Jose would have been had he not been shot. Maybe he would have been a more competitive against Danny Garcia, even against Jamal Charlo. I was impressed by the lack of mobility that Jose has in his, on his right leg, how he's able just to make something out of nothing. You can see he's got hand speed. He can't really cut off the ring relatively well because sometimes his leg drags. But I was really proud and of Jose Benavidez, man. He did pretty good. But if I was him, I wouldn't have conceded to Jamal Charlo's 7-pound overweight, man. That shit is crazy. I don't even know. Look, no fighter is ever gonna be like, nah, man, I'm not trying to get paid. The sanctioning bodies and the commission, they have a responsibility to protect these fighters from themselves. Jose is not going to cur out. He's not going to bitch out and be like, oh, you know what? I don't want to fight Jamal Charlo. No, because at the end of the day, he's trying to get paid. The sanctioning body, the promotional company, and the commission, they have to have another fighter on standby. Jamal Charlo coming in overweight by 7 pounds, that's just fucking ridiculous. But shout out for Jose, for being another grown man and just being like, fuck it, let's fight. As for Charlo, I don't know, bro. He's food for every real killer at 168. Hopefully he fights Caleb Plant, but Jamal Charlo will probably fall into another depression and then cry about it. Now, as for the main event, that was a good little fucking 6 rounds. I was extremely impressed by Demetrius Andrade, for showing his speed. He tried to bully and walk down David like how he fought Willie Nelson back at 154. Willie Nelson, for those that don't know, he was like, I don't know, like 6'4", and he's a big puncher. And Andrade was having a little bit of success against David Benavidez, turning him, spinning him, a little bit of low blows as well, just taking David out of his game, landing a few good punches until that 4 that David turned into a 2, a straight punch, and just fucking made Demetrius Andrade go cross-eyed. That was pretty much that blow that changed the whole flow of the fight. And David Benavidez, man, that kid is looking dangerous. He's looking very dangerous. Everybody wants the Canelo fight. David wants the Canelo fight. Canelo don't want the David fight. We all know Canelo Alvarez is a cherry picker, man. We all know Canelo Alvarez will take on fights like Amir Khan, Jermell Charlo. He'll fucking fight Errol Spence. He'll fight Bud Crawford. He might just fucking fight depressed Jermall Charlo. That's who Canelo Alvarez cherry picks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he'll give us the David Benavidez fight. I mean, he's always been saying that he will never fight another Mexican. He won't fight Zurdo. He won't fight Jaime Munguia. Probably Canelo beats all these guys, but those are pretty good fucking fights. I mean, better than what Jermell Charlo gave us and the 30th of September. If Canelo won't give David the fight, which he's earned, I would like for David to continue to eliminate all the other fighters like David Morrell. Knock him out. If you can't knock him out or he don't want to make the fight happen, then go fight that Frenchman in Billy, right? And Billy is really strong, very formidable, and he's short and stocky like Canelo. I think that kid's 5'8", and he probably on this juice. Those Frenchmen over there, they all juice to the gills. They got no borders over there, and all those Frenchmen like Tony Yoka that have some type of, those Europeans are cheaters, man. That's all I pretty much got to say. But Davis should just continue his momentum. He's got a shit ton of momentum, and he would have knocked out Caleb Plant if I don't know if it was Tony Weeks or Kenny Bayless allowed Caleb Plant to sodomize David Benavidez by giving him like over 45 clinches. They should have deducted a point. They don't even do nothing, man. So shout out to that ref for really warning Andrade for the dirty shit that he was trying to get away with. That was a good little fight, man. I'm extremely proud and impressed by David. The best thing that David could have done is incorporated Memo Heredia to that training stable. That's the best thing that David could have done. In fact, a lot of fighters that don't have that punch or lack a little bit of discipline, they should be hiring the Memo Heredias, the Alex Arizas, those type of fighters, even guys that are winning, right? But that they need that knockout ability, like a Lomachenko, like a Devin Haney, that can't really crack that hard. They should hire those guys. I'm sure they have their own little teams and their physical trainers. No one has ever done that body transformation that Alex Ariza did with Manny Pacquiao, that Memo Heredia did with Juan Manuel Marquez. And you're seeing the results with David Benavidez. The fucking guy is strong. He's fast, and he's not slowing down. Sports Archives, what's going on, bro? He goes, what up, fam? You should join Black and Brown Boxing Open Panel. Yeah, man. Look, man. Hey, shout out to your Jaguars, bro. They won today, and they beat the Houston Texans. It was a good little game, bro. It was fun watching it. I don't really be debating people like that, man. I think I hopped on maybe 2 years ago with what's his name? Ring IQ's page. And we were talking about Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence. And one of the things that I didn't like is that, they have their groupies, bro, that all they do is kind of gang up on, like, quote unquote, the foreigner, which was me, the new guy. And then they pander and they ass kiss. I didn't really like that. And ever since then, I was just like, look, bro, you guys have like 9 grown cheerleaders. And I gotta, like, it was ridiculous, man. I mean, it's whatever. But I don't really like doing that with the panels, bro. It's not really my thing. That's why I don't really like send people invites here other than like my brother or like my fucking high school buddy, you know what I mean? Maybe one day, but I doubt it, man. You got a lot of guys like Ultra Instinct and his group of posses that they come over here and they'll be like, man, you're fake Mexican and all this garbage. So it just like it ain't really my thing, bro. I just like to just talk a little shit and then just hop off. Sports Archive says, yeah, man, Ring IQ has too many yes men. I mean, some of them have really good input. I think there's this guy from Colombia. I forgot what his name is. But they got some, they got some good people over there that they really know their boxing, but they always let the other people speak over them. So it's not really my thing, but shout out to them, bro. They're doing their thing. Yes, Leo. Yeah, Leo's good people, man. I like Leo. But because he's soft spoken, they always like interrupt him or they speak over him, and it's just like, man, keep letting him talk. Even Country, he said he has sometimes some good input as well, but they have other people that are just much more vocal. But it's all good, bro. It's all good. I don't know if you're watching the game between the Ravens and the Chargers, bro, but I expected them to be a little more high scoring. 13-10 is I understand the Baltimore Ravens have a really good defense, and the Chargers defense, they have one of the most expensive rosters, and they can't really put it together. So maybe they got to hire like a Vic Fangio. I know he's with the Dolphins, but they would definitely benefit. That should be intentional grounding. They would definitely benefit from like a Rex Ryan. They got too many good players like Derwin James, Khalil Mack, even Joey Bosa, who just hopped on the IR, like Kenneth Murray, Asante Samuel Jr. They just let go of J.C. Jackson, right, back to the Patriots, but that defense should easily be top 3, top 5 just with the names alone, and they're always underperforming. But sometimes they show up like tonight and they keep it close. But man, I got a question for you. What you think about David? What you think about the performance that he had against Demetrius Andrade, and that's a pretty good little boxing last night. I was obviously impressed with everybody. I want to be a little harsh on Jamal because I like Jamal, but he's just got to be more active, man. I don't know. He's he lost a lot of momentum, and him coming in 7 pounds overweight, I'm just kind of like, well, you're supposed to do what you did against Jose. I wasn't too impressed, It's like when Canelo knocked out Amir Khan, I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. And as for Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez, bro, those were good, competitive, fun 6 rounds. I like when fights end quick and they're high quality. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see a stretched out 12 rounds and it's boring as hell. You know what I mean? Like Shakur Stevenson. Even though Shakur Stevenson has some really good moments, but his best fights were against like Robson Conceição and Jamel Herring. Against Oscar Valdez, he did his thing. I'm really too highly impressed that you can outbox Oscar Valdez. I mean, everyone kind of expects that. But yeah, man, hopefully Drew and Speed hop on. If not, man, I'll just pretty much end it relatively quick. I don't think that Canelo will fight David Benavidez. I think Canelo he's never really wanted to fight David Benavidez. Um, I just obviously he doesn't need David, right? But I mean, if we look back at the history of Canelo, Canelo is an amazing fighter. Shout out to Canelo. I don't gotta tell you guys that he isn't skillful, right? But he gets away with a lot of shenanigans. I mean, how many years did he duck Triple G, right? Sure, he fought him 3 times. The second fight being the best one. But after he beat Cotto, he went down to fight like Liam Smith, Amir Khan, and then Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. at a catch weight at 164. And then he finally came down to his senses to fight Triple G. I am ready, my friend. Sports Archive says, I don't watch all the games because sometimes you can tell the outcome. Yeah. I mean, I agree. But this year, I can't call it. Like even this Thursday, right? On Thanksgiving, I had the Niners beating the Seahawks. I had Cowboys beating the Redskins. Wow. And then I had the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers. And the Detroit Lions got beat by the Packers. I was like, bro, the score should have been reciprocated. You know what I mean? And I was highly impressed by the Packers. I was like, damn, any given Sunday, right? I feel like all year I just can't call these football picks correct. I usually win about 2-3 times a year on the football picks, right? And I just can't call them. I can't get them right. Every single time games like the Falcons against the Saints, when I go Saints, they lose, right? When I go Falcons, the Falcons lose. So like this week I went to Saints, they got beat by the Falcons. I'm like, bro, I thought, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I thought the New Orleans Saints with the addition of Derek Carr or David Carr, no, Derek Carr, I thought they were gonna be the best out of the NFC South or the NFC North. Yeah, the NFC South. I thought that they would easily beat the Falcons. I thought that they would, I thought they would be the best. I thought they would have one of the best records in the NFL as well, and that is not the case. Shocking, man, shocking. I just can't call it, man. I just can't call it. Vikings win tomorrow. Oof. Let's see who the Vikings play. Let's see. Damn, slow ass internet again. Cowboys win Thursday. Come on. The Bills and the Eagles game, that was a great game. That was a great game. Wow, bro. What's going on with my internet, bro? Hurry up. Okay, so the Cowboys are playing the Seahawks this Thursday, which is crazy, given the fact that they just played. Okay. And the Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. Yeah, that one's pretty predictable. But even then, maybe not so much because I know the Vikings have a top 10 defense, maybe top 5. But sometimes Justin Fields has this amazing connection with DJ Moore, and they pop off. But yeah, I would agree. The Vikings should win that. The Thursday game, Cowboys should beat Seattle. Geno Smith and the whole Seattle roster, they've completely they've underperformed all year. Given how very good they were last year, that defense sucks, man. They can't tackle. I mean, no disrespect to Jawan Jennings from the Niners, like the number 3-4 slot receiver, but he broke like 5 tackles and he was just spinning twice in circles, and the Seattle just can't tackle. That shit's embarrassing. I was like, damn. I'm a Niner fan, so I'll take it. But yeah, Seattle, they suck. And then you got the Colts versus the Titans. Yeah, you got a lot of football, man. You got a lot of football left. But yeah, some of these games are predictable, but it's any given Sunday. But yeah, man, excuse me. Hopefully Canelo is finally ready to fight David Benavidez. I think the world, like when you look at the career of Canelo, that guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? And there really isn't much left for him or his career, right? No one's going to really put pressure on Canelo to rematch Bivol. Even if Bivol would like to come down to 168. Like I said, Canelo cherry picks. I wouldn't be surprised if he cherry picked Terrence Bud Crawford next. Hell, he fought Errol Spence or Jamar Charlo. I think realistically, the way Canelo is moving, he would cherry pick those guys over David Benavidez or Dimitri Bivol at 168. Why would he give those two fighters a chance to strip of his history? You know, we forget that Canelo could have fought Andrade at 160 to become undisputed at middleweight, which being undisputed at middleweight is far more impressive than being undisputed at 168, right? Because even then, when Billy Joe Saunders popped dirty against Demetrius Andrade, they should have stripped Billy Joe Saunders for that nasal spray, basically giving that belt up for Andrade to fight some, you know, I don't know, soft touch. And then Canelo should have fought Andrade. But Eddie Hearn, you know, kept that fight happening, you know, and then he rewarded Billy Joe Saunders for a big-ass fight in Dallas, Texas against Canelo. So, again, Canelo will duck and cherry-pick those, you know, fighters. He ain't going to fight Bivol at 168. He could have fought him this year, and he chose not to. The WBC ain't going to enforce it, and neither are those sanctioning bodies at 168. I doubt he fights David. You know, I'm crossing his finger, but like I said, Canelo is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and there is really no pressure for him to fight these fighters. You know, Juan Manuel Marquez and all these professional or ex-retired fighters, they can put pressure. You know, Mike Tyson, you know, can endorse David Benavidez with the Mexican Monster slogan, but realistically, Canelo, like he's done his whole career, if he beats Cotto, he'll go down to 154, 155. Canelo weight, fight these dudes. Fight Chavez Jr. at 164, then fight Triple G. He'll do the same thing with David Benavidez. Again, no one's going to force him to do anything. You know, the sanctioning bodies don't want to lose out on that 3% because that's a nice 3% on that belt. And we've already known that Canelo is willing to relinquish certain belts if he feels like, you know, he's not in control of his career. So at the end of the day, like, he'll cherry pick anybody. I mean, he'll cherry pick Bud Crawford. He'll make Bud Crawford move 21 pounds. And what Bud Crawford's supposed to say? Nah, Bud, I'm not supposed to cash out 30 million, 50 million. Like, bro, these guys are, you know, they're trying to feed their families as well. But yeah, man, I don't really have high expectations with Canelo. He should fight David. He should have been fought him a long time ago, but you know, David has to just continue doing his own career. If he can't get the Canelo Alvarez fight, there's still fights for David to have, like an Edgar Berlanga, Jaime Munguia, and Billy, you know, David Morrell. If you choose to go to 175, there's Beterbiev, there's Bivol. There's a lot of fights that David Benavidez can do for his career and just make his own legacy. You know, it won't be as popular or as famous as, you know, or the bag being as secured as a Canelo Alvarez fight. But again, I don't think Canelo will fight him. I just don't see it happening. David doesn't really have that much pull. I don't think that pay-per-view is going to do great numbers. I don't even think they'll do like 250K. I think it'll do under, you know, maybe 150K. You know, Demetrius Andrade is not a big name. The build-up in the presser between David and Demetrius Andrade, it was not that great. Showtime did not even have a face-off. I don't know if you guys saw that face-off on Matchroom Boxing between Devin Haney and Regis Prograis, but they should have had that. The only person that actually built up their fight was Jose Benavidez when he was trash-talking Jamal Charlo. And every single valid point that Jose Benavidez said, that was the buildup. Even, especially in that interview with Brian Custer, Jose actually sold that fight. David and Andrade, they didn't really do shit. You know, they were very respectful. You know, they were feeling themselves a little bit, but it was just good sportsmanship. But at the end of the day, that's not going to sell pay-per-view fights. You have to put on a show. Like K-Love and Canelo pushing each other and slapping one another and throwing body shots in the presser and you know, and Plant getting cut and slapped by his shades. Like, you need that. And and Andrade and David Benavidez, they're gonna crack under 150K. If it does 300, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna be happy, you know. But yeah, man, I just don't have high hopes for Canelo Alvarez. I never really have, you know. But I was extremely proud of his run in 2021 when he became undisputed. That run was legendary. You know, I'm not gonna shit all over it, but you know, beating Callum Smith in the manner that he did, the way he beat Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, that was amazing. For as much as popular as Canelo Alvarez is, he stayed extremely active and he kept fighting. And that run was legendary. That was good. I mean, there was a list of all undefeated fighters with a lot of momentum. And, you know, I think Callum Smith had just won the World Boxing Super Series, right? I think he beat George Groves for it. Then he shattered and made Billy Joe Saunders quit. I fucking hate Billy Joe Saunders. This despicable human being. But shout out to him because, you know, I'm proud of what he's able to do as well. Like, fucking dude's got good skill. And Caleb Plant, man, I love Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? As a boxer and as a fighter, that dude's a stud, you know, when it comes down to just, you know, being a grown man and handling losses and just life. Like, that dude's fucking tight. I got nothing bad about, say, Caleb Plant. Hopefully he fights Jamal Charlo. Hell, hopefully if he beats Jamal Charlo, there might be a rematch with him and David. Shit, I think that would be entertaining. I want to see if David can knock him out and maybe get in there like a ref like Tony Weeks or Jack Reese that won't allow so much hugging. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? You know, am I being a little harsh with Canelo saying that he's a cherry picker? I mean, I think that's pretty valid. You know, they wanted to make history fighting, you know, undisputed fighter versus undisputed fighter, you know, and Jermell versus Canelo, but that fight was, I mean, I don't even know what that fight was. I wouldn't even call that shit a fight. That shit was a sparring session. Damn, I don't even know why you're sending all those things, bro. Are you guys ready for the holidays? Yo, what's going on, Speed? Speed goes, good night to you all at Sports Archives. Yes, Ring IQ has a lot of yes men, but he is an astute boxing analyst, and he is entertaining. So he's good for the sport. Yeah, but his fucking lives suck. You know what I mean? You know, like, I'm not talking about his videos that he edits. You know what I mean? Those are really informative. You know. Yep. Let's see. Warp Speed goes, the homie Ricky, good night to you. Yeah, man, good night to you as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's been a productive, pretty busy Thanksgiving, man. Pretty fun one as well. Are you going to hop on? If not, just kind of end it, bro. You know what I mean? I was trying to talk smack to you since you're a big old Canelo Alvarez fan, but, you know where to be around. Probably still sick. His boxing lives suck. We want to hear play-by-play, but he's good to shoot the ish with. I mean, I shot the shit with them. You know what I'm saying? Fucking filler, dude. You know? But I'm going to say this, man. Canelo Alvarez will Doug David. Well, I'll say this. Canelo Alvarez will fight David Benavidez, but we just don't know when, right? Because Canelo fights all these dudes, right? But never when we want him to. Like, we wanted Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez to fight way back at 154. But he didn't do it, you know? We wanted Canelo to fight Demetrius Andrade at 160 for him to become undisputed. Everybody forgets that run that he had at 160 was pretty fucking fantastic. He fought Cotto. He fought Triple G twice. He fought Danny Jacobs. And he could have had Demetrius Andrade and been undisputed at middleweight. Listen, had he been undisputed at middleweight, would have been much more profound and impactful than had he been like being undisputed at 168. Because Billy Joe Saunders, the dude's a nobody, man. I mean, where the fuck is he at right now? Probably 230 fucking pounds. You know, Callum Smith. I mean, I think he was supposed to fight Artur Beterbiev. Artur got hurt. It's postponed till next year. We haven't really heard of Callum Smith. And then I thought John Ryder beat him in the World Boxing Super Series. War Speed goes, I would be better prepared tomorrow, though, the homie. Crazy, man. I will say this, man. Had he became undisputed at middleweight, it would have been a great conclusion. And had he had those ambitions to be undisputed at 168, even more so, he would have been two-time undisputed. You know, but Teofimo and Bud Crawford beat him to it. But yeah, like I said, Canelo will probably fight David Benavidez, but whenever he wants to, not whenever we call for it, right? Did the same shit with Triple G. Did the same thing with all those fighters, you know, that he fights late in his career, you know. But yeah, man, we all know Canelo will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I'm going to say this. He's ducking David Benavidez. I mean, it's pretty fucking apparent, you know. Hell, he's ducking every Mexican. Line him up. I'd be like, yeah, you don't want to fight Jaime Munguia. And he would destroy Jaime. But still, that's still a good fucking name. He would probably beat Zurdo Ramirez. Yeah, probably more than likely. You know, but again, there's no pressure. I mean, even with all the pressure and people talking bad about it and saying that he's afraid and X, Y, and Z, like Canelo's not tripping, bro. You know what I mean? He's got a yacht, probably owns an island next to, you know, Epstein, and he's just living life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. Let me charge my computer. Because for some reason, bro, the what is this? StreamYard? This shit drains my battery. Like crazy. Hey, yo, what up, Speed? Hey, mic check, bro. Mic check. Yo, Demetrius, you there, bro? Man, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, that's because I'm not seeing nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. What's going on with you, bro? How was your Thanksgiving? And did you see the fights on Saturday?
Yeah, I paid for the fights. And I still have until the 4th of December to watch the fights that I didn't see. Like, for example, I didn't get to see the Ergashev versus Matthias. Wait, I'm still suffering from a head cold. Ergashev versus Matthias. I didn't get to see that. I didn't get to see Roach versus De Los Santos either. So you know, I really didn't want to discuss so much Benavidez today. Benavidez versus Andrade, or that particular fight, because I believe, the homie Ricky, that the conclusion, the buildup of this fight to the conclusion of it, portends like what you're insinuating, serious repercussions to the sport, and especially major decisions for some key players, right? Um, the moment has come where things have to happen between certain players, and right now I'm still trying to really look at the big picture, right? What Andrade meant for the sport. First off, was he a boogeyman? Was he ever a boogeyman? Or was he a hype job? Um, David,
I would say neither.
David Benavidez, is he a Mexican monster, or did he look a Mexican monster against a B class, C class fighter that has set himself up to be that in the past few years by his own decision making, right? And Demetrius Bubu Andrade. So there's just some things, the homie Ricky, that I really have to sit down and think before I speak, because I like to be very well considered when it comes to my opinion. Unfortunately, I'm not the type that just reacts off of emotion and starts to shoot at the hip. And the first thing that comes, because I really like to think things through. Unfortunately, the homie Ricky, here's the thing: I'm suffering from a head cold, so I'm not too sure if it transmits over in my voice.
What's a head cold?
Well, a head cold, from
A
what I
headache?
understand, because I've never had it. I've never had it. I just know that one of my buddies at work always used to have a head cold, and he would always touch his face, and he would touch his sinuses and his temples, and he would massage the sides of his head, and and he looked relatively healthy, right? Like he wasn't sniffling, he wasn't spitting out, chucking up loogies. He wasn't doing anything like that. He was just always massaging his head.
Huh.
Uh, and I asked him, what's going on? And in the middle of the year, it would be allergies, right? And I guess allergies manifest themselves differently to different people. Like, for example, when I get allergies, and I do get them because of seasonal allergies for like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the year, when the flowers start to, let out their pollen and whatnot. I become allergic to the season, and then I start, just hawking loogies all over, and my eyes turn red, and then I got to take those pink pills to get you all like in a stupor, sleepy. Well, I ask him later on in the year because he gets the same kind of stuff where he's massaging his head, and I ask him what that's about because I don't imagine anybody has allergies in the wintertime, right? But he says it's called a head cold. And the way that he described it to me is that your head feels like it's a lot of pressure. And I've never had a headache really, but I ask him, is it like a headache? Because I know that if you don't drink a lot of water, sometimes your brain starts to dry up, and then you might get like a little sharp pain on the side of your head once in a while, letting you know that you're dehydrated. But he says something to the effect that no, it's not a headache, but it feels like your head is heavy. Um, your neck, the back of your neck feels heavy, like you have a lot of tension. Um, and you might have your whole mucous membranes, your nasal passages, just backed up with mucosity. And that's what I have. And I know this to be a fact because when I go take a hot shower, right? I like my stuff lukewarm, but I know that when I have to take phlegm out of my nasal passages, I fill it up with steam. Then I go in there, then just get a couple of good whiffs there, and then I'm just like blowing the left side of my nose, the right side of my nose, like a Mexican does, right? When you cover one side and you go, "Kah," and then you cover the other side and you go, "Kah," and everything just starts coming out. Um, I know that my face is full of boogers right now. And
Listen, all you gotta do is take Mucinex. There's this one at CVS where it's like a dual pack, a white bottle and like a purple bottle. You take that one for night and the other one for morning. I kid you not. The whole, the blah, blah, blah. The next day over, you're gonna be blowing out like 1,000 noogies, bro. Disgusting, disgusting. Like every
I
30
like that.
seconds. No, it's gonna be. You're gonna be like, what? Where is this coming from? But that Mucinex, the next day over, you'll be solid.
Mucinex, huh? That's funny. I'm gonna go and get that in a bit.
But it's
Just
disgusting, though. It's disgusting. Like,
you know what? I'm
bro,
a disgusting individual, to tell you the honest truth. But so I'm okay with that. I'll go.
you post. You said something pretty interesting because you were like, I wanted to research and process things, and you threw some questions out there saying whether Demetrius Andrade was a boogeyman
Or
or
not,
or
or
was
a
he
hype
actually
job.
booted, or yeah, or a hype job. And I would say Demetrius Andrade, he was never a boogeyman or a hype job. I just think Demetrius Andrade was one of those guys that just existed in the sport of boxing that never really reached his full potential. You know what I'm saying? When he beat Vanes Martirosyan, when he beat Willie Nelson, he was the boogeyman right then and there. He had a little bit of moments where like, oh shit, you see his talent, you see his skill, and then he thought he was a fucking prize fighter. His ego got so inflated that he would make all these videos and call out all these fighters as if he were the boogeyman. And when they call him out on his bluff and they're like, yeah, I got to fight for you, he would just pull out and just be like, oh, I'm going to move up and wait. Like his whole career, he ruined it just by chasing Canelo Alvarez. Like that's almost how I feel. And then in the meantime, he wouldn't beat other tough fighters that he could have done, like maybe like Zanibek or any other fighters to unify. He just kind of just stayed there and existed. And then when Canelo embarrassed him, when he was like, "You're a horrible fighter, get the fuck out of here," you know what I mean? There was nobody to support and back up Demetrius Andrade. You know what I'm saying? And again, he just got embarrassed, and then he just like he was just existing. Like he didn't even know if he was an active fighter or not. And yeah, he just kept, he signed with Eddie Hearn and just beat guys like Jason Quigley in incredible fashion, like knocking him down 4 times, like in 2 rounds. And you would think he would build off of it. And then here comes Zanibek, a guy that, is kind of like talented, like MJ Akhmadaliev. Nobody has heard of him, but he's got some good skills, or, quote unquote, passing the eye test. And then he goes, "I'm going to move up to 168. So it's just like he's just existing, going through the motions, not really being ambitious, and then just trying to build off and leech off Canelo Alvarez's name, or what it seemed like. And then by the time that he moved up into his third weight class, you saw him fight Damon Nicholson. And even though he beat him like 9 rounds to 1, you were like, damn, bro. And Billy just knocked out, and Billy just knocked that same dude, Damon Nicholson, and Edgar Berlanga knocked them out like 4 times 2, and you couldn't even drop them once. So then you realize, like, damn, bro, Andre, you're not going to be a great 168 pounder.
Hey,
But hey, what up, Drew? Mic
yeah, what's
check.
up, man?
How did you see the fights on
Oh
Saturday,
God!
and how you been, bro?
Good, man. Good, good. Just I was watching the fights with my cousin here, and I barbecued a little bit. I was pretty hyped for the fight. You right now, you just said about Boo Boo. About like him being a hype job or not. I think he was being put he put himself on the shelf too long.
Yeah,
And he actually he was that dude, and he just got rusty. And that's what happens, man, when you're not active. And on top of that, man, he was really like just trying to put his name out there and just trying to chase some kind of greatness, because I mean, this was the only way he was going to fight Canelo, if he was actually going to put on a great performance against David. And I mean, his resume, he started at 154, and he was like, knocking dudes out, some, and not all of them, so this dude was, doing he's just a really good boxer. He doesn't have that much power. I mean, he did get a knockout against Jason Quigley, right? So, I mean, that says something, but I think that was just because of his boxing ability. I don't think it was probably because he's probably hurt too much. It was probably because of just his style. Um, but yeah, no, I was looking at that. I'm like, wait, David started his career at one sitting what, like 165 ish.
yeah.
Those
David
type
has
of
always
catch
been like a
weights.
career 168 pounder. Yeah,
Yeah. So he's been knocking out full fledged 168 pounders. So that was one thing that stood out to me. Even though Demetrius did look like pretty filled in the weigh-ins, like he looked pretty solid. Not it made me kind of want to bet on him, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna stick with my guts. I'm gonna stick with the numbers. Because it's really hard to like dominate a top 168 pounder when you're barely, not barely, but you're just beating the like these average 168 pounders like Desmond Nicholson. So
yeah.
yeah, those are my thoughts. I have a lot to say about the undercard, but you guys stick on the
Got you,
main
got
for
you.
now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to, just kind of elaborate on a few points that you were saying. One is, I don't think Demetrius Andrade got rusty. And to be honest with you, I don't really think Demetrius Andrade got old, even though he's 35 years old. He looked very sharp against David Benavidez. He was landing, his speed was there, especially in his hand speed. The biggest problem with Demetrius Andrade is he should have just kept fighting. He lost, like you said, he lost so much momentum, and there was a lot of it was self-inflicted wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that Andrade isn't such a great fundamental boxer. He's a fighter that really relied a lot on his instinct and his athletic ability. Like that guy throws like some weird ass punches from low ass angles. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like he's like 6'1", but he has such a wide stance with the legs. He squats down and then he leaps. Then he throws these crazy ass uppercuts from like his hip. His hands are down, but he's got some long ass, like a heavyweight, Wilder long arms, and he
Mhm.
throws these incredible hooks with incredible hand speed. But
Mhm.
and then when he got caught with David, he finally had a traditional, I think speed. And my brother were like, look, bro, he became a fundamental boxer. He started circling with his high guard or his hands up. He never really does that. I think it was like the second round where he threw some uppercuts and then he was like, he hugged David, spun him, almost did like a takedown on him. And then the ref was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Mhm.
Both touched gloves. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Andrew always just relied on his athleticism, and that's how he was able to beat fighters. Well, what happens with David is he's also very athletic and he can match your hand speed. But the difference is David is actually a full-fledged 168 pounder that has 168 power,
Mhm.
And I think just Andre just got caught with a punch, that even though he had like this little shoulder roll and I think his lead hand, he was there to roll off the punch, but he thought it
Mhm.
was gonna be a 4. But David turned that hook into a
Mhm.
2, and it became a straight punch, and just didn't even hit his chin. It just kind of punched through his skull, and you saw
Mhm.
his eyes get cross-eyed. And from that shot, he never recovered, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just comes down to the discipline and the growth of David. To before when he fought Ronald Gabriel, David was kind of a hype job. He was fighting guys like at 154, Kyron Davis and Ronald
Yeah.
Ellis. These are 160 pounders. Well, the last 2 fights have been the best fights of David's career, right? Caleb Plant and then Demetrius Andre. But yeah, man, I just think David is coming into his own. He's getting much stronger. He's much more disciplined, and he
It's really
looks
his confidence too.
absolutely, bro. And I don't know what happened in his life that allowed him to be this motivated. Maybe he wants to fulfill kind of like that, prophecy that Mike Tyson
Yeah.
said with the Mexican monster and whatever the case may be. And he's
Mhm.
living up to his fucking name. Let me just read a few of these comments. El Pachuco goes, we know what happens when PBC fighters fight outside of the protection program. I like Benavides, but he is not ready for Canelo. Warp Speed goes, my son was very sick with fever, and I stayed home to take care of him. The rest of my familia had a great time. How was yours, El Pachuco? Big event with lots of family?
Yeah. So, homie Ricky. Well, first off, Drew, how do you do, man? I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Was it turkey, ham, prime rib, or lumpia, or what did you guys do over there?
We went to my cousin's house. Yeah, we just had fucking sorry for my language. Like regular, like we had turkey. Everyone kind of contributed, so we all brought our own little thing. Uh, yeah, we had like pumpkin pie after, and mac and cheese. We had mac and cheese.
Hmm.
We had like homemade gravy and mashed potatoes. So
The
it was,
fixins, huh?
yeah, no, it was pretty good. Forget what did we do different that was different to me. I mean, it was the appetizers because everyone brought appetizers. So
Hmm.
it was really jalapeno poppers, and we had that, and we had spinach dip with bread, and yeah, that was pretty good. I'm pretty sure I'm missing more,
That's
but
cool, man.
yeah, just a bunch of family. What'd you guys do?
I personally spent it uh, just basically watching TV
Mm,
with my sick son, who's he's been sick for a few days, man. And I actually just came back from the ER. Maybe
mm,
it's been an hour now because whatever he had, whether it's RSV or rhinovirus or the regular cold or flu, whatever it was, he broke that like a day and a half ago. But at the same time he broke that fever, he developed like an earache, and that officially became an ear infection as of confirmation of an hour ago. So I'm about to go and fetch some amoxicillin from the 24/7 CVS across town. Um,
I said
but
Mucinex.
no. This is for my son who's got an ear infection. Mucinex,
Oh,
that's gonna be for me because as you can tell, I'm still speaking like a teenager, backed up with mucosity and uh, pimples all over. But otherwise, from what I understand, Drew, everybody that went to the family's homes, they had a great time because all of my family lives here in Salinas. We have my father's side. Everybody lives here. My in-laws, they all live here, so they can hop from one house to the next, to the next, to the next. And many of them do live in close proximity, so I could just imagine the cornucopia of delicacies and other eateries that they enjoyed. Myself, I just stayed in the couch and occasionally giving them a couple of chewable Tylenols. But you know what? I wouldn't regret it because those are the things that I am grateful for, guys. The opportunity to live up to my duty as a father and as a husband, so that everybody else can have a good time while I take care of these dudes.
Yeah, no, that's what it's about, man. What about you, Rick? What did you do for Thanksgiving? I never got that answer from you.
Yeah, man. I actually did quite a lot, man. So on Wednesday, well, I had to work first and foremost on
Oh,
Thursday,
okay.
right? So I had an early Thanksgiving. So I
Mm,
pretty much planned it Wednesday night. I did this amazing this I like to make this ham. It's like a
mm,
pineapple and cherry ham. It was really good. Makes the whole house, warm and smells like Hawaiian pizza basically. And then
mm,
I make these kind of like these sweet beans. And I
mm,
didn't go to sleep till like 2. And then my girl, she made like macaroni, some bomb
mm,
ass macaroni and cheese, and then she
mm,
makes this amazing stuffing. And
mm.
so that was that.
Nice.
Pretty much in terms of food, just kind of like traditional, but it was really
Yeah.
good. And I only make that food really. I don't cook that often, but when
Mm,
I do, the food turns out to be pretty good. And
yeah.
then my girl's sister, they came for Thanksgiving as well.
Okay.
They're from Dallas, Texas, and they brought along two little puppies.
Mm,
So it's been a process, acclimating these two little puppies back into I'm trying to potty train them. So it's been a little bit of a hassle, to be honest with you. They don't bark, they don't really cry or anything like that. They're really calm, but man, they love to just kind of explore this new world that they live in and just kind of piss all over. And I have carpet in the home, so
mm,
and I like to keep my things clean and smell good. So it's been a little process, bro. I guess I can just call it that. But Thanksgiving was pretty good. And again, like the family being over from Texas, so I kind of show them around the Central Coast area. So
mm,
then, we went to like Monterey, we went to Lovers Point, we went to Point Lobos, and we showed them kind of like these little beautiful wonders of the world that we have here. That's pretty much free of charge, right? I got to take them out to a dinner as well, and eat some clam chowder. So it's been pretty busy, man. And then at the same time, I was helping my brothers, sand this Volvo, a PV 544 Volvo, and I believe they primed it, and they've been doing a lot of work. So um, it's been pretty productive, I would say as well. More of a grind, I feel, but I haven't really got to even though it's been a lot, I feel like I have to be this host. So I feel like it's been constant work, work, work. So I
yeah.
haven't really just like sat down and just thoroughly enjoyed it. I like to swim. So even though we went to the lovers point, there's only so much that time that they're here for. So I haven't really like I maximized the time, but I haven't really appreciated the moments because it's been a lot of work. So I guess you can say a little bit of, just a little bit of stress, a little bit of stress.
Okay, good, good. So if you don't mind, homie Ricky, we've been talking about turkey, prime rib, Lover's Point. Let's talk about boxing. How about that? Um, Homie Ricky, I told you, and you too, Drew. Before you hopped on, I did mention that I paid for the pay per view.
Well,
I
hold
have
on.
until the
I just want to read El Pachuco's comment in response
yeah
to you after you said, "How was your, big event with lots of family?" He said, "Oh man, I hope your son is feeling better. It was todo tranquilo for me. I drink a lot of beers. I like going to Sprouts and trying out new beers that they have in stock."
yeah. That sounds like a fun little place, whatever
So
that was. Sprouts.
I'm guessing Sprouts is kind of like a
That's
Probably in.
I was gonna say it's a gas station. No, it's a grocery store. Yeah.
It's a
oh, okay.
grocery
I
store.
thought it was
Oh,
it
Yeah,
was
it's a
like
grocery store.
oh, that's cool. How do
They
you
have
know
that.
this?
They have that out in like in San Jose, San Francisco area.
You know what?
I
Speaking
thought it
of
was
San
at the
Jose's
brewery. Cool. I didn't know the grocery store. Nice. And then Speed
Yeah.
goes, I used to have all night bingers or bingers,
bingers.
bingers with beer pong night for years. Yeah, when we were high school kids, I remember great times. But I left the wild man behind. Look, man, I can tell some stories and some details. Pretty
Yeah,
embarrassing.
please don't. Please don't. So, guys, so Drew, before you hopped on, I had mentioned that I did pay for the pay per view. Um, Nobody wanted to, go in on it, which is fine, right? But I had a couple of other things that I was working on, right? I was working on this vehicle that I just purchased. I'm not too sure if you won that live, but I purchased a vehicle a couple of well, in fact, I purchased it a couple of months back, but I only had an opportunity to go and fetch this vehicle about 2, 3 weeks ago now. A 1967 Buick Wildcat Custom,
Mm.
and the vehicle is giving me a little. It's giving me a little issue, shifting from the second to the third gear. It could be some kind of air issue, like a vacuum line, like a modulator issue. Maybe the modulator's clogged. It could be maybe something having to do with the timing being slightly off. Whatever. Long story short, I was working on that the
I know
day
what
of
it is.
yesterday.
I'm just
What is
kidding.
that?
I don't know what it is.
Come on. And
It's the carburetor filters, the R9s. No, I'm kidding.
so I ended up missing out on Roach versus De Los Santos.
Oh, yeah, it's a great fight.
It was a good fight. Okay,
Yeah, it was a great fight. Yeah. Oh, De
and
Los
then
Santos versus who?
Roach, Lamont Roach, right? Wasn't that one of the offerings?
Oh yeah, yeah, Garcia.
Garcia.
Yeah,
What am I
Garcia.
talking about? Okay, yeah. Jeez. See, I'm telling you, I didn't even watch that fight. And then I also missed Matthias versus Ergashev. So I was telling the homie Ricky that the two main events, the main event and the co-main, those those things merit their own live, right? Because there's so many controversies surrounding the Charlo versus Benavides fight. I don't think we should delve on him here. It's a lot of BS. We I don't think anybody really wants to rehash that because I'm sure everybody's talked about it. Probably everybody already formed their own opinions from the crazy ocean shenanigans going on in the Charlo side, right? Long story short, we can skip through that. And I think the whole thing going on with the Benavides and Andrade, they merit their own life. But if you don't mind, I would like to get your guys' opinion on what happened in the two first fights that I missed that I can still go and watch until the 4th of December because I bought them like an astute and knowledgeable boxing fan. I bought them through the Fight app. I did not pay through
Mm.
the Showtime app because
I actually,
Showtime
I
will
actually
not give you
bought it.
replay.
I bought it, and I actually recorded it.
How do you
So
do
that's
that?
Xfinity. I have Xfinity. That's my TV provider.
Hmm,
So
that's
I
smart.
get to yeah. But yeah, I can't rewatch it if I were to go through an app. They don't do that. So that's the part that sucks.
Yeah,
But
Showtime is complete bunk. It's
yeah.
you can't rewind. You
Well, they
can't
already sold out.
replay.
They already sold out. They're done, So they're not worried about the backlash,
No, but
you
it's
know.
been like that for years, though. It's been like that for
Yeah.
years. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so I realized that if you go through the Fight app or you go through payperview.com, you can pay for the fight and they give you a whole week that you can rewatch it. So I'm gonna watch these two fights, but I have talked to a couple of people regarding the Garcia versus Roach fight, and one of them said it was I don't know, like a one-sided beatdown. Uh, you said it was a great fight. So can you two, if you guys watched the fight, can you tell me
Which
what
fight was
you
a
guys
one-sided?
uh Roach versus Garcia? Well, I guess Matthias versus Ergashev also became a one-sided event, no?
Nah, not too one-sided. It was It was like the way Ergashev fights, man. He gives anybody problems, but it's really Matias that's a great boxer. You know, like Ergashev showed out, but like, dude, like the first punch he threw to Matias, it made Matias just go back a couple of steps. You know, and he was actually like struggling against him. I think Ergashev won the first 3 4 rounds. But Matthias was Matthias just didn't. He's tough. He was taking every single one of his punches, and he was just coming forward, coming forward. Like regardless, bro. I was like, damn, this guy. It looked like he was losing, but he maintained, and he kept coming forward, and he applied pressure. It was that pressure, man, that Ergashev couldn't handle, and yeah, no, most of Ergashev's fights end up ending in a knockout. I think like only one of his fights went the distance, but for Matias to do that to a dude like that, that's pretty damn impressive. So it was a great fight. Maybe if Ergashev showed a little more heart, he probably would have hurt Matias a little bit more because he was giving Matias a hard time. He just needed to do what he was doing the first couple rounds in the later rounds, but a lot of energy that he used in the beginning of the fight. So, it got to
So
him.
it's a pacing issue
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah. So
because of
Matias
what
showed out.
somebody told me that the fight didn't last get past the fifth.
Yeah, yeah. I think the fifth round. I think. But he won the first couple rounds. Ergashev did. Like he definitely did, and it was like one sided. Like yeah, he won that shit. Like he was outboxing him. He has great fundamentals, dude. Ergashev is fucking good, a great boxer, bro. It just sucks that he's retiring, but Matias has a lot of
Retiring?
heart.
What do you mean
Yeah,
retiring?
yeah. I told you. Oh wait, you weren't here on the last. Like he said, he was retiring, win or loss, before the fight.
Ergashev?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how old is this guy? Like, what the?
He
Like,
might be in
I
his
don't.
he might be in his 20s, but he's an Olympian or something like that. So he was, highly touted and yeah, Ergashev was that dude, bro. He was, undefeated. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea why. So
That's going to be a very interesting question, Drew, because whenever you hear somebody talking about retirement, win or lose,
mhm.
uh, they basically go there and lose, right?
But yeah, that's why I was saying maybe if he displayed a little bit more heart, then he probably would have won the fight, but he wasn't in that state of mind, to win. But it looked like he was trying to win. But I mean,
They,
when the pressure is applied, you make business decisions. you know, that's a cheaper health bill. Hospital bill. So I don't know. Um, yeah, we knew this before before the fight. I mean, you know, yeah. But
yeah,
Matthias is that dude,
that's
bro.
crazy because the last
Af-
time,
af- After the fight, Matthias was like Teofimo, te voy a ir a Cadoirado," something like that, and then he goes to he's like, Haney, Gervante, I'm here, or no, and he said Regis, so he called out everybody, like literally every fucking threat, you know. So that's what I like about Matthias, and he's here to stay. So yeah, I want to see him uh against a tank. I want to see him against a tank. See if he can withstand that pressure. Um, yeah, that's why it was a good fight, man. That was a great fight. And then the Benavides fight, I didn't really watch too well. The Benavides versus Charlo, I was kind of like in and out, but I mean, I didn't really like in my mind. I didn't really put too much weight on it because this dude's fighting. He just fought Crawford. I mean, not he didn't just fight Crawford, but he fought at 147 not too long ago. So for him to
yeah,
like come from that weight class to fight a dude that's fighting full-fledged 160 pounders, so and he's fighting at 165, it's like it's just too much. It's a reach. It's
yeah,
definitely a money grab reach. I just wanted to see. I really wanted to see how they react to each other's punches, and then once I seen that, they answered, "Hey, your phone, bro. That is
Whose phone?
horrible. Your phone.
Oh, sorry.
It's horrible, horrible." But you listen to that, Rick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard that shit. That was nasty.
yeah, bro.
What, did it sound like sex sounds or what? What are you guys talking about?
Bro, more like fucking murder sounds.
Ouch. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
it's like if one of your wires for your headset is loose, it's developing terrible static, and you're getting
Yeah,
cut
No,
off.
so gentlemen, what happened is that I stepped
yeah.
out from, I was connected to the home base, the Wi-Fi. I
Listen,
stepped
it's
outside.
still the
Just
same
stop
thing,
talking.
bro. It's still the
Just
Oh,
same
stop.
wow.
thing. So I don't know. Refresh your page or connect
That's
the aux cord or something,
probably the
because this
most.
shit sounds nasty.
That was probably the most horrible
Speak,
audio.
Drew. I looked at the fights completely different, bro. I thought first and foremost, Lamont Rose, he fucking destroyed Hector Luis Garcia,
I
bro.
didn't comment on that fight.
Okay, yeah, Luis Garcia, he looked like shit.
Yeah, he
Obviously, he
did.
hasn't fought since he got stopped by Tank Davis, and he was rusty. Um, he just looked horrible. He looked like a
Yeah, he
guy
looked
that had a
horrible.
lot of ring rust, and I mean, not he made Lamont Roach look as if Lamont Roach is like Oshaki Foster or some
I
shit.
know.
And I was just like, man, Lamont Roach is okay, but he was rocking Hector Luis Garcia's shit, like
Yeah,
knocking him down, stunning him. I don't know, man.
but
That was
Roach,
not the same Garcia that beat
it wasn't.
Chris Colbert or beat, Roger Gutierrez or even gave Tank a good little fight. I don't know who that guy was. That was like, I don't know.
He
But
fought Lamont
Lamont
Roach.
Roach became a champion. And then as
He's
for the Ergashev fight against Subriel Matias, Ergashev only won maybe 1 or 2 rounds. And then the last four,
the first
Subriel
2 rounds.
Matias fucking destroyed him. Ergashev, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've only seen a little bit of fights. We did like a quote unquote deep dive on that fighter.
Yeah,
And he had only fought like Michael or Mikhail Fox, and he looked pretty good. But again, Subriel Matias, I don't understand why he never put up a high guard to block his fucking face. He had a
yeah.
shoulder roll protecting his chest and his body, and Matias was just picking him apart by throwing nothing but face shots, uppercuts, left hooks, right hooks,
The
jabs,
first round looked great
punches.
though.
And Ergashev was just eating them, bro. I was like, bro, do you not know how to defend? You're an Olympian fighter. Where is your traditional putting up your dukes? He
I thought
fought
he won the
the whole
first.
fight with his hands down or to his chest. And Matias was like, bro, this is easy target practice. Um,
He won
but
the first 2 rounds.
what happened?
He won the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I know, and that's it. Like
Yeah,
maybe not even the second round, maybe just the first. But you did see that Ergashev was explosive when he did finally throw his punches,
the very
which
first
were
punch.
only
Remember
what
the very
happened.
first punch of. Remember the very first punch of the fight. He made Matias go back. He was like, "Oh shit!" He surprised Matias a little bit. You
Yeah,
seen
and I
that?
was surprised why Ergashev just didn't let his hands go. Like when you
Yeah,
fight Subriel Matias, you know the dude's gonna just keep coming forward. So and then Ergashev has dynamite speed and power. But bro, you gotta throw your hands. You can't just let the dude throw like 85 punches, rock your shit, and then you finally decide to finally throw a 1, 2, 3. Like, bro, you gotta fucking throw.
why do you think
Um,
that?
it was weird seeing Ergashev. I was just like, damn, bro, I can see why you wanted to retire. And he quit. He
Yeah,
quit. They said that, there
I
was
think he
something
quit.
wrong with him. The thing that was wrong with you is you're getting fucking blitzed by Subriel Matias. Like, Matias makes people quit. Jeremiah
Mhm.
Sponce, the Argentinian, he threw 160 punches in the first round, and he was landing a shit ton of uppercuts on Matias. Matias gets rid of him in 5 rounds. So it's not
Fuck.
that these guys like, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, what's wrong with you is you're sharing the fucking ring with this Puerto Rican that's a fucking monster.
Yeah,
Sports Archives goes, who's your favorite NFL team? The homie Ricky. I'm a Niner fan, brother.
Niners.
Yes, sir. Niners, and I hope
Nope, that's it.
I just hope we beat the Eagles in the playoffs. They can
Mhm.
have the regular season game, but even then, I just want to beat them in the regular season, and I definitely want to beat them in the playoffs because I want to make that motherfucker hurt. Especially the Philly fan base. But yeah, that's enemy number one. Hey, sorry about that, Speed. I didn't even know when you were coming in, but let's do the little mic check real quick.
Yeah. Do I still sound like I'm killing somebody or getting killed myself?
Nah,
You're
nah, that's
alive.
good now, man.
Nice. Okay. So
Rick
look.
Rick was going through his part of the through his lens how he's seen
Yeah,
the
man. I
fights.
didn't.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
really want to
I.
repeat
I.
myself, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I heard that. So I guess the homie Ricky, figures that he was hard pressed to give more than one clear round. He was hard pressed to give him a second round to Ergashev, and everything else was just a clear dominant performance by Matthias.
Yeah,
And
sounds
in
about
your
right.
estimation, Matthias was getting the dog at the end of it until he started flipping the tables and
No,
just
I
bringing the
agree with Rick.
pressure.
I said that sounds about right.
Oh, okay. So here's the question, though, guys. What regarding Matthias, Subriel Matthias, right? He's made two men in a row quit on the stool. Now, the last time that I saw a man consecutively make men quit on the stool, they nicknamed him Nomaschenko, right? Nomaschenko, his angles, his footwork, his aggressive nature of attack, uh, he just masterclassed some of these fighters to the point that their will was broken. Their will to continue fighting was broken. Now, the fight that I did see, which was David Benavides versus Demetrius Andrade, um, Benavides basically he knocked down and then he made Andrade quit. Right now, a lot has been said about how people weren't really giving David Benavides much credit for having basically mollywopped, planned for 6 rounds, and having won a couple of the earlier ones, maybe one or two of the first half of the fight, because Canelo stopped planned, whereby even though that mollywopping, David Benavides couldn't knock out Caleb Plant. But my question to you, gentlemen, is this: what is worse for for in general, for a fighter's career or their street cred, if you would? Would it be to A, get knocked out, or B, get mollywopped and then making you quit a
What's the
fight?
difference?
Well, there's a big difference. One, you're completely sentient and awares, and next thing you know, you take a punch and you're sleeping. You wake up in the hospital, with the IV lines connected to you, and you may
Well,
have a ventilator. And the
check
other
this
one,
out.
you're standing and huffing and puffing in the corner, and everybody's giving you all these orders, and your head is buzzing, and you're like, I don't want this anymore, guys. I don't want this anymore. One tests your grit, your resilience, and the other one just puts you to sleep.
Well, first, let's first clarify when you said Nomaschenko with Subriel Matias.
Oh, here we go. He's always gonna talk crap about
Lomachenko,
Lomachenko.
he
Oh
made
God, he fought two
Nicholas.
smaller men.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
know.
no, no. Let me explain to you the distinction, okay? Lomachenko was embarrassing Nicholas Waters, okay, and Guillermo Rigondeaux. By no stretch of the imagination were those fighters, quote unquote, getting fucked up, or like you like to say, mollywopped. Subriel Matias, how he hurt Jeremiah Sponce and how he was beating Ergashev, that's a clear distinction between like Lomachenko and how Subriel Matias did it. Matias did it in a manner where you're actually getting fucking hurt and the inevitable is coming where you're going to land in a stretcher. Mind you guys, not to, be overly sentimental or like desensitized, but Subriel Matias has a body on his name,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He was hurting Jeremiah Sponce, a 36 with 30 knockout fighter, the Argentinian, and he was beating Ergashev in the manner that this was going to be excruciating pain. Not the little fancy shit that Lomachenko was doing, spinning Rigondeaux and, stiff arming him and just circling about. Matias doesn't do that goofy shit. Matias actually hurts you, bro. He knocks the teeth and the mouthpieces out of you. He makes you, rethink the sport of boxing, and you be like, man, I'm not having fun here. Okay, so that's the difference. Lomachenko gives you a headache in the sense like, man, I just can't hit this dude, and you know what? I don't want to. In that sense, Nomaschenko, that's hype. Subriel Matias.
Whoa.
Hold
Damn.
on. Subriel
Wow.
Matias.
Sorry.
Look,
Sorry about my
since
curse
you
word.
paid for the fight, no, I'm serious. You have to go see the distinction between how Matias makes his fighters quit and how Lomachenko makes his fighters quit. Okay, there's a big distinction between the two. And I'm not taking shots at Lomachenko, but we know one was a fabricated machine in terms of those two fights. Subriel Matias is actually doing the groundwork and beating undefeated fighters that nobody has heard of, but they have stellar resume. Well, really good resumes, and they're undefeated. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Nicholas Waters had been inactive for a year after knocking out Nonito Donaire, and Rigondeaux moved up like 4 pounds or 8 pounds or whatever to fight Lomachenko. So, like I said, one is top ranked, beautiful matchmaking, and then the other one is we're doing the groundwork, the dark horse.
okay. So it's all philosophical differences, right? Because here's the thing, right? In one, to quit because you're getting mollywopped, guess what? That's sensible. It's sensible, right? It's sensible to think if you are really getting devastating and you are suffering physically, the logical thing would be for one to want that physical suffering to end. You see what I'm saying?
See,
Nobody
that's
is once you
logical.
continuously, nobody is gonna willingly, continuously allow their own torture to endure.
No, but
So,
see,
and
here's the
that's
difference.
wait. You know where I'm going with that? Because I'm about to belittle your philosophical thinking when you're trying to discredit my favorite fighter. If I am getting physically whooped on and I'm suffering from pain, I feel tumescence and ardor from every single punch that's coming at me. After a while, my body will give up because the pain is something that I cannot process anymore, right? So it is logical, and in fact, it's understandable that a person would want to make that end. But when a person is such a masterful fighter that they break your intellect and your willpower, not with physical aggression or dominance, just physical uh, athleticism and skill set, where your heart and your brain is broken, not physically, mind you. Your heart and your brain is broken. They've broken your spirit. One guy breaks your body, and it's understandable that you would want that kind of pain to end. But what makes you a coward? What makes you walk away from a fight? I say Lomachenko, when he was making people quit on the stool, is a greater destruction than any other type of destruction, including one that causes physical pain.
No,
You
I
ain't gonna
think
convince me the other
uh,
way.
I think
Well, let me say
I
this first
I
and
think when
foremost. Like again, when it comes down to those two separations of powers, right? Subriel Matias is fighting fighters in his weight class that are prime, that are active, that have a lot of momentum. Nicholas Waters was on the shelf for over a year after having an amazing knockout performance against Nonito Donaire. Rigondeaux moved up a lot of pounds, so you got to put in those factors into the equation. Why the little guys, quote unquote, Nicholas Waters or Rigondeaux would walk away. But yeah, I would in those moments. That's why those people were booed. They were viewed as cowards. The ref even was like, "Hey, Nicholas, what's going on? Why are you quitting?" He was like, "No, no mas, no mas." You can see the panic and the fear in his eyes. Yeah, I would agree to that, to that segment. But you have to understand is this. What you just said with, Subriel Matias fighters quitting, that's logical. Yeah, they're going to stop the pain and the suffering, but these are fighters. It's not logical for two men, quote unquote, to fight But these are warriors. These are fighters. Ergashev quit and Ponce quit because you can see the destruction and what's to come. And they're like, you know what? He brought reasoning and logic to the irrational fighter. You know what I mean? That was incredible. And again, it doesn't come with any context that I just gave you with Nicholas Walters and old boy Rigondeaux. No, these are prime fighters, incredible fighters that have been, even the bookies had these fights close. And guess what? Matias showed otherwise. Like, bro,
The homie Ricky, a year layoff, a year and a half layoff is actually quite typical in modern boxing. You know that. In fact, 2.5 year layoff, like Charlo, is actually now accepted I mean, not by many, thank goodness, right? Because I hope not every champion holds onto their belt for 2 years. In fact, I hope no champion holds onto their belt for 1 year without defending it. But it's very typical that a person, and I do understand the conditioning of your statement, homie Ricky. I validate that. I'm just letting you know, if a person quits on the stool because of their power, right? Because you just decided to go off on Lomachenko and discredit the guy. I'm just trying to tell you the other way of looking at the things. The flip side to that is that how many people do you know that have quit on any stool under any condition just because a guy is pillow fisted him and shoe shining him? I don't know many of them. I don't know many of them. In fact, I think you might want to look back at Sugar Ray Leonard versus Manos de Pera Duran, the second one, for just shoe shining and master classing the guy where the guy quits. That's what Lomachenko did.
Yeah, I know. And what, you think that was?
And nobody ever discredits Sugar Ray Leonard for doing that to Duran.
That was incredible. When
What?
Duran turned his back and he's like, ya no quiero pelear, güey. Do you think that was incredible?
I think it's incredible on the part of Sugar Ray Leonard. I don't think it's incredible on the part of anybody who quits, is what I'm trying to tell you. But you actually have to put up Lomachenko up there with the Sugar Ray Leonards for how they make people feel in the ring. Oh man, this is not a sport for me. They reevaluate what their life is all about, homie Rick. Is what I'm trying to tell you. A beatdown.
No. Listen to me. Andy Ruiz and Robert Duran, right? When they beat and they won their Super Bowl, when Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard in the first fight, there was an immediate rematch. And soon after, they fought. Same thing with Andrew Ruiz when he knocked out Anthony Joshua. There was an immediate rematch clause. And what happened? Duran partied. He celebrated with Panama. He fucking was partying and living life and not training. Same thing with Andy. He was hanging out with Baby Bash. He was tequila this, tattoos this, all this, and not training. Ray Leonard, like Joshua, being professionals, they wanted to get back. So what happens is Andy Ruiz comes out 40 pounds overweight or, heavier than what he was. And Duran, the same thing. And they're like, fuck, bro. I can still fucking reflujos, the fucking, the heartburn and the fucking shit from all the beers that they've been drinking. So they're like,
Reflux.
You know what? Today is not my fight. And he could have quit easily, just be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't training. Manny Robles said so in many interviews. So to me, that's not incredible that they won. It makes sense. Like, these fuckers are partying and celebrating because they just won the Super Bowl. But guess what? You guys signed the contract and you guys weren't training and you guys had those oopsie daisy moments and you guys made those guys superstars. Same thing with Nicholas Waters. Why did Top Rank put Nicholas Waters on the shelf after he knocked out Nonito Donaire? Oh, because here came the Lomachenko machine. High-tech Lomachenko. That's part of the business. It's all business. Look.
So let's go back to what Matthias means, homie Ricky. What does it mean?
I'm not like.
Let's not make it about Lomachenko. I'm just trying to make it more about Matthias. I'm just bringing up. No. I put up Matthias up there. I put up Matthias up there with how Loma. Yeah, I brought up Loma to put up Matthias up there. Right? Because he's doing the same thing that Lomachenko was doing. Yeah, there's nuances, there's differences, but what I'm trying to tell you, you're missing the point, though. You're missing the point. I'm not trying to compare the fighters or what they mean. I'm trying to get at what it means to the sport that there is a guy that has more fights than Better Biev, if I'm not mistaken, with more knockouts than Better Biev. He's actually the Puerto Rican monster who's now making men quit on the stool. What does it mean for the fighters at 140, including Devin Haney, Regis Prograis, Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor, those that guy that just signed with Arnold Barbosa. Um,
Listen.
what does it
What
mean
this
for
means?
140?
What this means is Matias is bad for their health. That's what that means. Because check this out. Teofimo Lopez in an interview recently in Fight Hype or Fight Hub, he said when they were asking him who wins between Devin Haney and Regis Prograis, and he goes, "Look, Regis Prograis, like Josh Taylor, they've been at 140 their whole careers, and in my opinion, this is what Teofimo Lopez was saying. I feel like they're shot. They've been in this division far too long. An up and comer like Subriel Matias that has a lot of momentum. He looks to be very fresh, and he might be over 30 years old, by the way. He's coming out and knocking out all these undefeated fighters and doing so with the hurt business. Okay, so what does that mean for guys like Arnold Barbosa and Jack Catterall? Is you better come ready to fucking fight, because even if you have a little bit of lapse, Subriel Matias is going to see that little weakness and just blitz you and barrage you with 100 punches per round. Look, I believe he has a Mexican trainer, so he's already
Yeah.
used to these wars. So it's going to be very interesting and fascinating to see if these guys like to unify the division with Matias. I don't know if they will. Um, can Matias get beat? Well, he already has a loss on his resume, but we got to fight. Hold on, let me read a comment right here from the Homie Sports Archives. I hate the Chiefs. I feel like they're protected by the refs. Mahomes and Kelsey have a lot of endorsements, so they must protect them by any cost. I'm just saying. I agree. That's very true. It's like kind of like the same thing when the NFL refs pamper to any kind of like borderline hit with Tom Brady, giving him the benefit of the doubt of unnecessary roughness and whatever the case may be. They're doing the same thing to Mahomes and Kelsey because jersey sales and selling tickets and merchandise. And to your
Swifties.
point, all those endorsements, yeah, they have to protect their price. That's why they catered the NFL now to an offensive-driven league, so all these records can be broken, right? Passing records, touching records, the addition to another game. Defenses can't play defense. You can't chop block no more. You can't headhunt. You can't hit chest and above and all these things. You can't clothesline, and that's to protect the offensive players because fans don't like defensive games like the Niners and the Ravens back in 2012 on a Thursday night when the score was 10-7. They don't want to see that shit. They rather watch mediocre football like the Buffalo Bills against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship when it was like 38-35 or 48-45, and in 13 seconds they marched down 90 yards. They don't want to see good defensive football. You know what I mean? They just want to see fucking 800 thrown passing yards together and fucking 10 total touchdowns. They want to see Miami Dolphins football. That's what the NFL caters to, and fuck them. That's all I gotta say about that. Like, it's like watching a Lomachenko fight. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Now,
Yeah,
Lomachenko is
man.
good, man. Like, I like the guy, but I mean, we gotta call it what it is. It's a fabrication machine. It lives up
Yeah.
to its name, And I'm not knocking the hustle. Like, I mean, fuck. Oh shit, my bad. He logged in. How long? My bad.
I know. No, I think he's
Nah,
locked.
what do you think, Drew? I mean, what
Nah,
do you
I mean,
think about that
Loma.
statement about Mahomes and Kelsey being protected?
No, I mean that's just the way these. This is the thing though. Like, I feel like NFL players, defensive players, and all that, they're getting faster and they're getting stronger because of just science and you know, they actually they're becoming more committed. I feel like that's just the trajectory of all sports. Everything's getting faster, bigger, stronger. And that right there, if you think about it, is getting unsafe for the person that's getting tackled. Imagine getting tackled at 15 miles an hour. Instead, now you're getting tackled at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah,
All that shit adds up. And then yeah, the speed is actually more force. That's what it is, and that's what they're trying to protect you from. Um, because yeah, where they're getting more athletic, so they're pretty much like using their bodies as weapons. So their body is now flying at a faster rate, which means it's more unsafe. And pretty much they're trying to protect all the, the stuff that's going on with tackling and maneuvers that they use, like to get you taken down, but that are actually unsafe for you because bodies not aren't meant to be torqued a certain way. And on top of that, they're 300-pound linemen, landing on top of you. They're trying to stop that too. I
Yeah,
thought that was a good
true.
one. There's certain ones I thought are good, certain ones I feel like that are dumb, but
No, very
but
true. Very true.
yeah, and they actually see which ones actually end careers, and they say, "Hey, we got to stop that because it ended this guy's career and that guy's career." So they look at the analytics and all that. Um, yeah, and they're getting more and more, strict. So it's becoming more like flag football, but that is making players play faster now. You know, you got to play faster now. That's what it is. That, like you said, that stuck to me. How you said that these guys are actually really skinny. So that shows you how fast these guys are getting. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Got you, got you. No, no, it's very true. Just to simplify a little bit, Archives, man, you're probably a diehard Jaguars fan. You're probably a hardcore fan too. But basically, what Drew is saying, right, is physics.
Nah, I just
Force
read that.
equals mass times acceleration. These football players are getting bigger, they're getting faster, right? And once they make impact, the NFL is realizing, look, we cannot allow these hot commodities like Mahomes, like Kelsey to get injured. We don't want to see them, inactive and broken legs and ligaments and have to retire from the sport
Yeah, I don't
early.
think
You
I
know,
don't
they
think they
want
try to
them to have
protect.
longevity, so they changed the rules to pander. But the way I look at it, and you said nothing but facts right there, Drew. I wish they allowed the NFL, right, to make to allow the defensive backs to be able to
Mhm.
give 10 yards of jamming you on the line. 5 yards is like if let's say I'm Chardavius Ward, right? The number seven cornerback from the Niners, and I have to line up against Stephon Diggs, who probably runs 24 miles per hour, and I have to chase this dude, and he has a whole open grass to run routes, right? He can do a drag route, he can do a post corner, he can do a fade route, he can do so many, he can run so all around the fucking schoolyard, right? I have to try to slow him down, and you're only allowing me to, you know, jam him up on the line, force him back 3, 5 yards. Anything else is a flag. If they want to slow down the game, you got to think from the defensive perspective of allowing them to jam the line to 7 to 10 yards. I'll slow them down, and then my safeties and my linebackers can change their line of sight of hitting. A lot of these moments and these big collisions and the hits, they're bang bang. I don't have time in a split second to change my shoulder pad level to hit them in the stomach. Sometimes I hit them in the heart. Sometimes I hit them above the solar plexus. Sometimes I'm trying to aim for the shoulder pad, but I accidentally hit them in the helmet. That's not their intention, but the game is so fast. I'm running 20 miles per hour. He's running 25. The ball's being thrown at 40 miles per hour. We're trying to get to the same designation point. And by the time that happens, boom, I'm getting laid out by concussion. The other receiver is feeling doozy and wobbly, and it's just like that's just a contact sport, So I think about it from both perspectives, but I just feel like as long as you guys change the rules to the NFL on the offensive side, you guys also have to bail out the defense and give them an understanding or have them hear their say rather than just finding them because that thin blue line, so to speak, gets very convoluted and it no longer becomes fun. Give me a second. Private chat. Phone's gonna die. Warp Speed says I got 3%. I will hop on back in a bit. About 15 minutes. So he's got to charge his phone. Oops. And Pachuco goes. Oh, sorry. Warp Speed goes. Matias versus anyone other champions at 140. Who wins? Look, man, I'm gonna respect every other champion. It's 50-50. El Pachuco goes, Brady is buddies with Canelo. He recognizes greatness. Look, man, Canelo is great, but what does Tom Brady know about boxing? Sports Archives goes, I'm talking to you, homie. Yeah, man, I send a lot of, look, man, I'm fans of all these guys, I'm just trying to entertain you guys. El Pachuco goes, Matias gets hit a lot. A puncher might give
Whoa.
Matias problems. I would love to see him and Teofimo Lopez.
Uh,
Tio goes, Tio beats Matias. Hey man, I thought Sandra Martin be Teofimo. Sports Archives goes. I'm talking about when you answered my question, and his question was, "I hate the Chiefs. I feel like they protected by the."
It's gonna be bad.
That's not a question. The
I
question
know. I
was,
don't know how we're gonna do
"Who's your
that.
favorite NFL team?" The homie Ricky, the Niners. Like, uh, I guess I didn't understand. I guess I. Yeah, I don't even know what I said, man. 10 minutes ago feels like 45 minutes ago. But yeah, no. Look, man, it's kind of like boxing, right? A lot of these moments you can't see these rabbit punches, and these coaches are training these fighters to hit them, in that area behind the ear, which looks like a temple shot, but it's really behind the head. And a lot of these times, that punch that's being taught in these gyms, the ref can't catch on it, you know? So it happens so fast, and in a
Yeah,
motion, it's just so tough to
and I
protect.
feel like,
Yep.
oh, bad. I feel like going back to like the his statement, like the Mahomes and Kelsey. I feel like they're not, those guys just happen to be the best at what they do, and they know how to use the rules against their favor, or what, like towards their benefit. And that's why Mahomes, he's so smart. Like, this dude's so great. Like, it almost seems like the NFL is protecting him, but in reality, he knows what he's doing. That's why certain QBs, when they get hit, they do good jobs with acting jobs, and they'll make it seem like it actually hurt. And sometimes they'll get a flag, and sometimes they won't. But I
Yeah.
mean, and sometimes they'll see a potential pass interference. They'll throw it down the field just in case he's holding them a little too much. So it's little things like that. They use the rules against their favor. Um, so that's what it is, and it almost seems that way, but in reality, these defensive players, just players in general, just they're like, you need to pay attention to the combine. That says a lot about how fast these dudes are really getting, because
Yeah.
that's pretty much the next wave of talent coming in the NFL. If you pay attention to that, you'll see that the numbers are getting better and better and better. And shit, it's crazy because all that affects the football field, the play on the football field. But yeah, that's why they got it down to the numbers, bro. They got it, yeah, down to a science. So
Yeah,
that's why
no,
they.
it's very true. You make a lot of valid points. These guys are getting extremely fast and faster than the athletes of last year. That goes with modern day science, modern day technology, and just really being explosive off the line. I agree. As to Mahomes and such quarterbacks, I just feel like that's just kind of where the NFL is kind of headed to. It's not for better or for worse, honestly. It's just the evolution of the game.
Yeah.
There's articles, and I talked about it in one of my NFL videos. There was this player, a Hall of Fame center or offensive lineman from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he couldn't fall asleep. This guy
What?
he bought a taser,
Who?
right, just so he can knock himself unconscious.
What
You
the
know,
hell?
so I understand this brain damage and football relation. You can't really soften a physical sport. Um,
I didn't know
it,
that.
it just that comes down to the circumstances. Yeah, it was on a website called The Atlantic. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. This
It's
came out
called
like in 2016.
a movie,
Yeah,
a football movie.
no, no, no. This was during that time where like that Will Smith concussion films were coming out. But
Got you.
The Atlantic, Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know.
Atlantic Pittsburgh Steeler.
The Atlantic, yeah, the Atlantic it's kind of like it's called it's Atlantic.com. It's basically like NPR or The Nation. It's basically an online service where they talk about the news and report the news. But the article is
Mm.
called "The Brain That Sparked the NFL's Concussion Crisis," written by Jean Mary Laskis. So basically, there was a player by the name of Mike Webster, right? And he was the best center in the NFL. He had four
Mm.
Super Bowl rings with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And basically, to keep, I'll try to
Wow.
show this up in a little bit. Plenty of guys, I'm gonna just read a little passage. Plenty of guys had a hard time after retiring from football. You had to adjust to a new identity, to a new schedule, like coming home from war. But Webster's reaction seemed extreme. He got lethargic. He forgot to eat. One day, he peed in the oven, frightening his wife and his kids. Then he wandered off, meandering through Pittsburgh. He slept under bridges in the Amtrak station, then in his truck. Somehow he got guns. He would walk up to strangers and rant, "Kill them! I'm gonna kill them all!"
What the fuck?
His teeth started falling out. He got super glue, squirted each fallen tooth, and tried to stick them back in. He wrapped his hands with duct tape and stuck a pen in the tape so he could write 1,000 letters. So he's basically doing dexterity with his fingers, right? Motion, simple, things that we kind of take for granted. And he would tase himself so he can fall asleep. It seemed like he had explosions rattling in his brain. So when the doctors reviewed Mike Webster's brain, they realized how much brain damage that he had in football. During the whole time, the NFL, kind of like cigarettes and Marlboro, how they were hiding and cancer that was causing by people smoking the cigarettes, the NFL was hiding the data and the facts of these football players and dismissing the brain damage. So this sparked this new evolution of football. And like I said, it's not for better or for worse. To Drew's point in terms of saying these players are getting faster, bigger, and stronger. It's very true, and you have to protect these athletes. So going back to your statement, Archives, when the league is protecting Mahomes and Kelsey, I just feel like they got to do a better job. In fact, not just protecting Mahomes and Kelsey, but like when I look at guys like Andrew Luck and Josh Allen, guys are like 6'6", 250 pounds, and move so fast. Like if they were 5'10", those guys get hit by those 300-pound men much harder than any of these dudes, and they just like you see the agonizing pain. And just because they get away with it or the refs don't call it as prevalent enough because they're big, man. And I feel like they got to do a much greater job of being consistent and protecting the bigger athletes as well. Not just the little man. And
I'm
Mahomes is
pretty.
not even little. That dude's fucking
Yeah,
huge too.
he's a big dude, and I'm pretty sure, dude. If they allowed the same type of hits in the '80s with the same hits today, like the same dudes today, like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone would be like paralyzed and shit, like on the weekly basis, bro. Like just the way they used to tackle, bro. They used to actually pile drive people, you know, clothesline, all that, bro. I'm pretty sure the
Yeah.
defend, it's for both. It's actually for both sides. The defender gets hurt as well sometimes.
Hell
Sometimes,
yeah.
Ronnie Lott, bro. Ronnie Lott used to hit dudes so hard, he used to knock himself out. You
Yeah,
know,
look at
so
Derwin James from the Chargers. Every day he's playing out there, he knocks himself out. You see his wobbly
yeah,
legs.
yeah, and it's like, dude, just your body's just not meant to take those hits, and some people's bodies are more calcified, if you know what that means. Like they just take a hit better, and they don't get rattled. Honestly, I have so much to say about that. I almost feel like dudes with big heads take the best hits. Like they know how to take a hit. Dudes with bigger heads,
Yeah,
but
no, it's I mean, I don't know, I just feel like with football, it's just kind of like the thing where the risks, and at any given time, it's interesting because just a little side, like a little segue. But Larry Fitzgerald, right? He was an amazing wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. He's a very smart receiver. Went to college after graduating. After being in the NFL for like 10, 15 years, he went back to college to get like his bachelor's or his master's degree. And he said so himself. He said that I would rather get a concussion, because I can miss maybe like a week or two of football than tearing his ACL. He was scared of more, damaging his legs because, if you tore your ACL, you would basically be out for the whole year. You would require surgery. But the concussion, which is your brain, I thought he would respect his brain a little more than the knee. But just in terms of, getting that paycheck and getting paid on a weekly basis, he would rather get a brain injury than his ligaments on his knee. Nah, man, it's a very difficult situation that the NFL, Roger Goodell, and all these commissioners have to battle with when it comes down to softening the league. And it comes down to articles like Mike Webster on the Atlantic, right? Where it's like, man, bro, you had cases like Junior Seau the San Diego Chargers linebacker, that had these TBIs, right, traumatic brain injuries and CTEs. That it's we acknowledge that these sports are very brutal. So yeah, man, it's just the evolution of the game. El Pachoco goes, "You are not Mexican unless you talk about soccer." Sports Archives goes, "Football. What the fuck is soccer? I think it has to do something with penalty kicks." Yeah, man, I don't watch too much football, and I don't really watch too much American soccer. Only the thing that happens every 4 years. I don't watch La Liga. I don't really watch.
You haven't watched Messi?
No, I haven't been really watching it, man. I used to watch America versus Pumas, or
You know who Messi plays with
Las
right now, right?
Chivas when they played Morelia and stuff like that. But ever since, I think it was when Mexico went to the final four, the final 16, and they played La Máquina Naranjada, right, which was the Netherlands, and they didn't have instant replay at the time. And the trainer for Mexico was a guy they called El Piojo. This guy was a passionate Jim Harbaugh, like yeah type of energy. And anyway, they didn't have replays, so this guy named Robin from the Netherlands, he was a bald guy. He fucking flopped, and they gave him the penalty shot that they went. The guy ended up making it, and it ended up being 1-1 against Mexico. They went to like extra time, and then Netherlands ended up beating Mexico. When that happened, I was like, all right, dude, this is some bullshit. The guy, he had a left front, he flopped like LeBron. And and then so it was too little too late. So, Mexico, they kind of sucked ever since then. They haven't had a really good competent trainer in a good little minute. They hire these guys from Chile and all these fucking bums that they have no passion for Mexican soccer or Mexican football, and they don't fucking know Mexican talent,
All right, so
and
hold on. You haven't been watching Messi play. You know who Messi plays with right now?
yeah, he plays probably for like San Jose, I don't know. I know he's probably with the Florida, no?
Yeah, he's with Miami right now.
Yeah, no, I
But
don't really watch MLS, man. It's
but
not
that's the
really my
thing I
thing.
was gonna tell you right now. They have games against the Mexican League. You
Nice.
know, it'll be like Guadalajara versus LA Galaxy now. Like that's the type of shit that I like actually. Like
Okay, so you
before,
like the crossover appeal to it.
because as a kid, I used to watch that La Liga a lot. So I know all those teams right there in the
Yeah.
Mexican League. And I remember just MLS being low key. And I'm just wondering, like, I wonder how they would par with each other, like how those teams would like go at it, like the inner teams. And then, bro, last year I found out that they've been doing that, and I'm like, wow, that's like literally what I've been asking for as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
that
I agree that
yeah.
crossover appeal. I agree. I do like it. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
yeah, it'll
to
be
your
cool.
guys' point, Vince, El Pachuco. Yeah, I used to watch. My dad's a little older now, and I used to watch on the weekends the football matches. It
Who was
was
your
always
favorite
good to
team?
see these athletes, compete in the pitch. But yeah, I only pay attention like Vince, to the Copa America that happens every other year
Yeah.
or two, and then El Mundial. I love watching that.
Who was
I'm
your favorite
glued to
team?
the TV watching it 24/7 basically. But I just don't have time to be like super invested into many sports. I'm already kind of busy with football and understanding boxing and football and baseball that I'm just like, damn, I'm over an
Yeah.
abundance of sports,
Who
Uh,
who was your favorite team growing up? Like soccer league in the Mexican league.
Honestly, I started really paying a lot of attention when it was in South Africa, El Mundial. So I think that was in 2006 or 2008, and I bought my Jubilani soccer ball. So I was really a big fan of Brazil. Brazil for me
Wow.
was I love the way they played. Where Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Kaká, and all these guys, they played beautiful, man. It was
Yeah.
magic the way that they would pass and do these triangular attacks and with
Hmm.
speed and just swag, bro. These guys were fucking amazing. I loved it. Even watching Spain when they won El Mundial, I think maybe in 2012 or whatever's. I didn't really like how they won. They were very methodical, very strategic, and you knew they can score like 7 points. But once they scored 1 point, they were content with just winning 1-0 and controlling the ball. And with Puyo and Sergio Martinez and man, I forgot all those amazing Iker Casillas, and it was so amazing that the way they controlled the ball, it was beautiful. I was like, bro, these guys can't take them away. They will neutralize you. That team was incredible. And seeing Sergio Ramos and all these guys, David Villa and Nino Torres, bro, that's when I was really passionate. But this was my time when I was still like under high school and stuff. When I felt like when I was in high school, a lot of these sports, I was a bigger fanatic than I am as an adult. I feel
I was
like
gonna
as
ask
an
you, but
adult, I lost
La
a little bit of
Liga.
that touch.
I was gonna ask you the La Liga. You didn't watch that league?
Nah, man, growing up, I didn't really have direct TV and stuff like that. So I didn't
One last
really have
question.
cable
Who?
television. So I really couldn't watch the European circuit of soccer. You know, it was always just kind of like Telemundo and Univision.
That's why. That's La Liga. That's the
Well, that's the
Mexican
Liga
league.
now, but before then, they didn't have that.
Okay. Who is your dad's favorite team then?
Well, because they're from Michoacan, so it was Morelia, and he
Okay.
liked America.
Got it. All right. That's all I needed to know. Because usually you follow your parents. Like you're a fan of them.
Yeah.
Like you're. So that answers
For me,
everything.
I always liked Toluca or Atlas because Atlas
Yeah.
had the black and red Atlanta
Yeah.
Falcons color, and I thought those jerseys were fucking dope. Sports Archives goes, Messi and Ronaldo are playing trash leagues right now. Premier League is much harder. Yeah, man, Messi and Ronaldo are aging stars, you know? Sports Archives goes, all right, I'm going to head out. Fuck you, losers. Man, don't be like that, bro. Damn. Nah,
I know.
have a good night to you, Sports Archives, brother. Thank you for tuning in, man, and chopping it up and talking about football. It's always fun. Vince goes, I'm a diehard NASCAR fan. NASCAR. Fast, NASCAR. I'm watching it every weekend. All three series. I'm serious. Cup, Xfinity, and trucks.
He didn't
Yeah,
say
man.
I'm
Honestly, I have
serious.
no idea about NASCAR, man. I don't really watch fast cars like that,
You
you
said
know.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I don't really know too much. I know that when Shakur Stevenson was fighting Edwin de los Santos, Formula One was over there, and in Las Vegas they built this a badass track. But yeah, man, I just don't even, yeah, brother, I just don't know, man.
Yeah. Now the F1 looked interesting, but you gotta follow. You gotta look. You gotta follow through with it. Like all season. I
Yeah,
heard it's really good money if you're betting on it though.
shit,
Like
probably. Warp Speed
but
goes, I love NASCAR. Kiselowski is my guy.
I like
Yeah,
that dude from
I think
Monaco.
I remember that name. Yeah, that name.
There's a dude. There's a dude from Monaco. That fought on the top rank undercard. His name is Hugo Miklev or something like that.
Hugo
But he's
Stiglitz.
from Hugo something like that. I'll show you him on the group chat. But he actually is pretty dope, and he's from Monaco, and Monaco's fucking big on racing. They got a dude that raced on the F1 on the track that night, and he was like right there cheering for him and shit. But
Oh, that's cool,
that
man.
that dude from Monaco, he's actually like the top rated guy. Like he's winning like every fucking race. I forgot his
Damn.
name. But he's from Monaco.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I know what you're talking about. They say that he's the best Formula One racer right now, maybe
yeah.
even in history. To you guys' talking points, I do watch a little bit of those films were like directed by Ron Howard. I don't know if it was like Ford versus Ferrari or McLaren versus Ferrari. It was I think it was called Rush or some shit like that. Those films
Mhm.
were hella good, really good. Speed goes, I love NASCAR. Oh, I read that. Vince goes, yeah, Warp, he's good. Owner now of RFK, Rebelde Federation Kalowski, the old Roush team. El Pacheco
Mhm.
goes, at Vince Vargas, do you guys watch Hill Climb Racing? A bunch of modified cars tearing it up.
Uh,
And
I
Warp
don't know.
Speed goes, phone died out for a quarter hour. Great people came to visit us. The homie Ricky and Drew. Oh yeah, man, the best people, man. The
Yeah,
best
no.
people that
Any fights
I
this
like.
weekend? Next weekend?
I like Daniel Suarez, Mexican driver. Pitbull owns 50% of the team he drives for. Nice. Mr. Worldwide. Sorry about that, Drew. What were you saying about the upcoming fights?
No, no, no. I didn't know you were reading that. I thought you were asking me a question, but
Oh no, I'm
um,
just reading the chat. Yeah, yes sir, yes
nah.
sir.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask, what are the fights next weekend? Like, do you know?
Um, I don't know, but I know
Uh,
like in 2 3 weeks, Devin Haney's fighting Regis, but I haven't really been keeping up with
I feel
like
like
the
that was
monthly
next
schedule.
weekend, but it's not next weekend, huh? I doubt it.
Yeah, no, it might be 2 weeks from now. You
Two
probably
weeks.
right.
Sounds like that. Yeah, I don't. It don't feel like next week. I think I would have seen something like fight week or 10 days, 1 week out, type of shit. But yeah, no, that's pretty dope. Um, oh yeah, I forgot to mention about Keone. So my guy Keone, um, Washington, uh, fights in Lafayette like in a week on Saturday, on NBC. So fights probably start like around noon, depending on what bout he is and what ring he is. But yeah, man, pretty much. Yeah, take a look at that whole fight card. Like you're gonna see a world champion in that. Like you're gonna see a world champion fight that day, like a
Wait,
future world
Keone's
champion.
becoming. Oh, sorry. When is that fight?
Well, it's the Olympic trials, right? And he pretty much got his seeding and everything. He's the second seed. So he gets to fight the, I forget which seed, the fifth or fourth seed. But this dude, he pretty much, his opponent is most likely someone that he's already fought in. So yeah, man, this guy's ready. He's bro running 10 miles almost every day. But
Damn.
like, yeah, so almost every day, and he's sparring like dudes like Joe Sean James, who just got the knockout, um, who just got a knockout upset. Remember that dude we seen fight against Javier Martinez, Milwaukee made?
Yep.
He got the draw against him. That dude, he sparred Keone, and he says that this kid is the hardest worker he knows. And he said, not trying to throw any more out there, but he said he's like he sparred some top dogs from like the top rank gym, and he said Keone's by far like one of the hardest workers he's ever seen. So it says a lot. Keone's just scratching the surface of his potential, but yeah, no, I can't wait, man. I can't wait because it's my uncle pretty much training him, so I'm pretty hyped, man. This is pretty much for the family. I'm excited. I want to see this guy do good. You can't help but cheer for him. Um, yeah, if you guys are listening,
Yep.
follow him
Yep.
on
Yep.
Instagram, Team Keone, all lowercase. Um, yeah, no, he's gonna be greatness, man. Like short span of time, he's done a lot. Like, and if you find out about this guy's story, it's really like inspiring and shit because it'll tell you like, man, you can really do anything you want, and it's all about like the mindset, man. So this guy's really an inspiration, bro. So I can't wait. It makes me want to just go for a run and but yeah, 1 week out, December 2nd.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. Yeah, man. And what was that going to be on like the Olympic USA website page that they got,
No,
or like where can
no,
we watch these fights?
on NBC.
Oh, NBC.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
right on TV for national everyone to watch. So yeah, man, you're gonna see everyone there. There's a kid who fought Carmel Moten, um, and he beat him. He's pretty much Carmel Moten's last fight in the amateurs, and he beat him to become a national champ. His name is fuck Garrett Wilson. Or no, 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 that's the 147 pounder. He's Shakur's nephew, Moses, something like that. His first name is Moses. Yeah, that kid, he's the truth, bro. Like he beat Carmel in a close fight. But yeah, he's gonna be in the national qualifiers as well. I think he's like the number one seed. Um, there was a dude in welterweights. I got two welterweights that I can name right now that you're gonna hear about, like coming up. One is Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's from Michigan. he is like one of the top dogs. I've seen his resume. He's a multiple time world champion up until this dude by the name of Noah Timoteo from fucking Hawaii. And that dude from Hawaii is a fucking already like a two or three, I forget, like a multi-time national champ. But already fought this dude Garrett Wilson a couple times. Um, but yeah, I expect them to go at it in the finals. I'm pretty sure they're gonna set that up in the finals. But um, those two dogs right there, I think the 147 division right there. So yeah, stuff like that. You know, these guys are just kids. So whenever I think about 147 pounders, you never know. One of those kids can be like end up being 6 foot 6'2", like Boo Boo. Boo Boo fought Keith Thurman at welterweight division in the amateurs. That video I showed you,
Yeah.
um, he fought him in the amateurs at a welterweight division. And look at Boo Boo now. He's 6 foot, and Keith Thurman probably just stayed the same height throughout the years at 5'8", 5'9", whatever height he is. So it's crazy. Just seeing them in the amateurs, it just says a lot about them. So um, you guys watch it, man. There's levels to this. You guys watch it, man. It's different seeing them in person, but just watch, because me and you, we watch, like amateur or local fighters go at it right here, and they show a lot of grit, But you watch these national qualifiers, all you see is like crisp, fucking fundamentals, you know. That's what I love to watch. It's like your favorite, like it's like a hardcore's favorite, like show to watch,
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I love it, man. You should watch at least one or two fights. You'd be like, wow, this guy's fucking good, So yeah, man, tune in. NBC,
Got
NBC.
you. Hey, brother, just a heads up. I'm gonna use the restroom, but I
Oh,
feel like I'm gonna be in there for a cool little minute. So,
okay.
uh,
All right, man. I'll let you go there.
got you. But yeah, if Speed hops on and you guys can keep chopping it up, but yeah, for me, I think that's gonna be about it, bro. Cause I've been pinching it.
Yeah, turtle. You got a turtle head? I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I don't know, man. But yeah, you can keep going, bro. I mean, I'll still be on the chat, like talking, but I won't be able to say nothing.
No, I think I'm gonna take off, bro. I'm good, man.
Alrighty, Drew.
Yeah, man. I'm
On
good,
that
man. I'm
note,
good.
guys, y'all have a good night. Vince, El Pachuco Sports Archive, Speed, Drew. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Happy Sunday, and hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. And I'll see y'all on the next one.
All right. Peace.
Later, guys.